June 5, 1944, the night before D-Day. In a modest house in London, a Spanish man named Juan Pujol García sits at his typewriter composing an urgent intelligence report. His message: Allied invasion fleet has departed English ports. Massive force observed heading toward Pas-de-Calais. Recommend immediate reinforcement of 15th Army positions. He encrypts the message and transmits it to his handler in Berlin. The Germans receive it within hours. They trust it complete because Juan Pujol García isn't just any spy. To the Germans, he is Agent Arabelle, their most valuable intelligence source in Britain, running a network of 27 sub-agents across England. His intelligence has been flawless for 3 years. The Germans trust him so completely that they awarded him the Iron Cross. But there's one problem. Juan Pujol García doesn't work for Germany. He works for MI5. His entire network, all 27 agents, are fictional, and his message about Pas-de-Calais is a lie. The real invasion is hitting Normandy at dawn. Because of this message, Hitler will keep his panzer divisions 200 miles away from the actual beaches for 43 critical hours. This is the story of Operation Fortitude, the deception operation where British intelligence turned Germany's entire spy network against them, and how a Spanish double agent became the man who saved D-Day. By 1940, Germany was preparing to invade Britain, but first they needed intelligence, information about British defenses, military bases, air forces, naval positions. German military intelligence, the Abwehr, sent dozens of spies to Britain. Each arrived with different cover stories: refugees, businessmen, students. Their mission: live, covertly, observe, report. But there was a problem. They were all captured. Within the first months, MI5, British domestic intelligence, identified every German spy. How? Because Britain is an island. Every arrival is recorded. Every foreigner is monitored. Every suspicious movement is reported. And British codebreakers had cracked the German Enigma codes, Bletchley Park, Ultra Project. This meant MI5 knew which spies were being sent before they even arrived. Every captured agent was offered 2 choices. Option 1, execution. Option 2, become a double agent, feed false information to Berlin. They all chose option 2. By 1941, MI5 had established a systematic program, the double-cross system, also known as the XX system. Objective: control captured German spies and use them to deceive Germany. By 1944, every active German agent in Britain, every single one, was actually working for MI5. Germany's entire intelligence network had been compromised, and they didn't know it. Autumn 1943, Allied leaders were finalizing plans to invade Europe. Operation Overlord: invade France, land at Normandy beaches, then advance east toward Berlin. But everyone knew D-Day would be the riskiest military operation in history. Thousands of ships, hundreds of thousands of soldiers, landing on open beaches, facing German machine guns and artillery. If the Germans were ready, if panzer divisions were waiting at the beaches, the landing could fail. Estimates were grim, 10,000 plus dead on the first day. So the key to success was, surprise, keep the Germans waiting in the wrong place. But how? Germany had built a powerful defensive line along the French coast, the Atlantic Wall, artillery, mines, concrete bunkers, and the Germans weren't stupid. The invasion was coming, but where? 2 main candidates: Normandy, wide beaches but far from Britain, 150 miles. Pas-de-Calais, only 21 miles from Dover, the shortest route. The logical choice. German High Command was certain the Allies would strike at Calais because it made sense. British intelligence's job reinforced this belief. It was called Operation Fortitude. The plan was simple: convince Hitler that the real invasion would be at Calais, so German panzer divisions would be waiting in the wrong place. But to convince Hitler, they needed convincing evidence, and MI5 had the perfect tool: Germany's own spies. Who was Juan Pujol García? Juan Pujol García was born in Barcelona in 1912. An ordinary Spaniard, during the Spanish Civil War, he hated both sides, fascists and communists. In 1939, when World War II broke out, he made a decision. He wanted to fight against Nazi Germany. But there was a problem. He had no military experience, no espionage training, and the British refused to hire him. So he did something incredible. He pretended to work for the Germans. In 1941, he went to Madrid and applied at the German embassy. "I'm a Spanish businessman. I travel frequently to Britain. I can spy for you." The Abwehr hired him. Code name, Arabelle. But Juan had a little secret. He never went to Britain. He stayed in Lisbon. Using tourist guides, British newspapers and maps, he wrote fake intelligence reports. He sent Germany fake information about British military movements, and the Germans believed him. MI5 takes notice. In 1942, MI5 noticed something strange. The Abwehr was referencing an agent in Britain who didn't exist, Arabelle. Codebreakers at Bletchley Park decrypted German messages. Messages saying, according to Arabelle's report from Glasgow, but there was no such agent in Glasgow. MI5 had already captured all German spies. Who was this man? MI5 launched an investigation to find Arabelle. Eventually they traced him, a Spaniard living in Lisbon, producing fake reports without ever visiting England. MI5 was fascinated. This man was deceiving Germany on his own, without any assistance. Imagine if you controlled a real intelligence network. What could you do? In April 1942, MI5 sent Juan Pujol García an offer. "Come to London, work for us. We can really use your talents." Juan accepted. Codename, GARBO, after Oscar-winning actress Greta Garbo, because he was the greatest actor. The network of 27 fictional agents. In London, under MI5 control, Juan was managed by a British intelligence officer named Thomas Harris. Together they built the most complex deception operation in history. Juan continued sending reports to the Abwehr, but now with information approved by MI5. But one person couldn't cover all of Britain. He needed to be credible. So Juan created a fictional network of sub-agents, 27 characters, each with unique backstories, personalities. Some examples: Agent 1, a Spanish businessman, Juan's persona. Agent 2, a pilot in South Wales, reporting airfield activities. Agent 3, a Venezuelan student in Glasgow, monitoring Scottish military movements. Agent 4, a radio operator in Gibraltar, naval movements. Agent 5, a military base worker in Canada, reinforcement troops. Agent 7's wife, a woman in London gathering valuable information. All fictional, none were real. But each sent reports. Each had a unique writing style. Some were greedy, demanded more money. Some were idealistic, believed in the Nazi cause. Some were cautious. The Abwehr believed all of them. Intelligence quality, Juan's genius was this: 90% truth, 10% lies. Most reports conveyed real military movements, but untimely or insignificant. Example: if a convoy was heading to North Africa, Juan reported it, but after the convoy had already arrived, this was useless to the Germans, but proved Juan's intelligence was accurate. Occasionally, critical lies were inserted, but mostly he built trust. By 1944, the Abwehr trusted Juan Arabelle completely. Germany awarded him the Iron Cross, a German military honor. Ironic. A British agent receiving medals from his enemies. 2 layers of deception. Operation Fortitude had 2 parts. Fortitude North, fake invasion of Scandinavia, Norway, forced Germany to strengthen northern defenses. Fortitude South, fake major assault on Pas-de-Calais, force Hitler to keep Panzer divisions in the wrong place. Fortitude South was critical. The plan: convince Hitler that the Allies' main attack would be at Calais, and to convince him they created a fake army. FUSAG, the phantom First U.S. Army Group, In southeastern England, Kent, Sussex, Essex, MI5 and US military intelligence set up a massive operation. Name: FUSAG, First United States Army Group. Commander: General George Patton, real general, but leading a fake army. On paper, FUSAG consisted of 50 divisions, approximately 1 million soldiers. But in reality, it didn't exist. How were the Germans deceived? 1. Fake equipment. Inflatable tanks looked real from a distance. Wooden landing craft, fake depot buildings, truck and vehicle mock-ups. German reconnaissance planes photographed them. They looked real. 2. Radio traffic. Men of FUSAG units conducted heavy radio communications. Real military codes and procedures were used. German SIGINT, signals intelligence, intercepted and analyzed this traffic. Result: Germans believed there was a massive army in southeastern England. 3. Double agents. And most importantly, GARBO and other double-cross agents confirmed FUSAG. Juan's sub-agents, fictional characters, sent reports. Agent 7-4 observed a large tank concentration at Dover, hundreds of Sherman tanks. Agent 3 reported troops moving south from northern Scotland, clearly preparing for a major operation. Every report told the same story. The big attack is coming at Calais, and the Germans believed what their own spies told them. June 5th, final warning. June 5th, 1944, evening. In Normandy, 156,000 Allied soldiers were boarding landing craft. The assault would begin the next morning, but there was a critical problem. The weather was barred. Storm, waves. General Dwight D. Eisenhower made a difficult decision. Proceed. That same night in London, Juan Pujol García sent a message to Berlin. Urgent. Arabelle reports. Major troop movements observed in southeastern England. Invasion fleet may depart within 24 hours, but main target unclear. Agent network assesses Calais as high probability. The message was intentionally vague because giving Germans precise information might arouse suspicion. June 6th, D-Day morning. June 6, 1944, 6:30 a.m. Allied forces landed on Normandy beaches. 5 beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, Sword. The Germans were surprised. They weren't expecting Normandy. However, at 9 a.m. in Berlin, German High Command held an emergency meeting. Question: is this the real invasion or a diversion? Because a larger attack might still be coming at Calais, and at this exact moment, a second message arrived from Juan. GARBO's critical message, 3 a.m., June 6th. At 3 a.m., just 3 hours after the Normandy landings began, Juan sent Berlin a long, detailed message. The message said, Agent 7-4 reports from Dover, First U.S. Army Group commanded by Patton, still deployed in southeastern England. Total 50 divisions. FUSAG forces have not moved. This indicates the Normandy operation is a diversion. Main invasion force is still preparing to strike Pas-de-Calais. Repeat, Normandy is a feint. Do not remove 15th Army from Calais. This message determined Hitler's decision, the 43-hour delay. Juan's message had a major impact in Berlin. Adolf Hitler and his commanders faced a dilemma. Option 1, Normandy is the real invasion. Send all reserves there. Option 2, Normandy is a diversion. Keep the 15th Army and Panzer divisions at Calais. Arabelle's intelligence supported Option 2, and Hitler trusted Arabelle. Result: General Feldmarschall Erwin Rommel was forbidden from sending panzer reserves to Normandy. The 15th Army, Germany's strongest defensive force, continued waiting at Pas-de-Calais. For 43 hours, German panzers remained 200 miles from Normandy, immobile. During this time, Mantian Allied forces secured the beaches. Reinforcement troops landed. Logistics lines were established. The beachhead position was solidified. On June 8, 2 days later, Hitler finally realized the truth. Normandy was the real attack. But it was too late. The beaches were secure. 156,000 soldiers had landed. The Germans sent panzer divisions to Normandy, but the Allies had already achieved an unbreakable position. Casualty comparison. Allied military planners had made worst-case scenario estimates for D-Day. If Germans are ready, 10,000 plus dead on the first day. Actual casualties, 4,414 dead, all beaches combined. The difference, 5,586 lives saved. Why? Because German panzers were in the wrong place. Juan Pujol Garcia's lie saved thousands of lives. After the war. After D-Day, Juan Pujol García, GARBO, continued sending messages to Berlin until September 1944. The Germans still trusted him. After the war ended, Juan quietly retired. He kept his true identity secret. He moved to Venezuela, lived a quiet life. In 1984, 40 years later, his story was made public. Queen Elizabeth II awarded him the Member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE. Historians recognize him as the man who saved D-Day. Legacy of the double-cross system. Operation Fortitude is recognized as the most successful deception operation in military history. Why did it succeed? 1. Trust building. GARBO provided accurate but harmless information for years. The Germans learned to trust him. 2. Multi-layered deception. Fake army, FUSAG, plus double agents, fake radio traffic, convincing lie. Hitler's psychology. Hitler already believed Calais was the logical target. GARBO simply reinforced this belief. Cyclically, timing one's message arrived at Hitler's most critical decision moment. The 43-hour delay was crucial. Operation Fortitude taught 3 lasting lessons to modern deception operations. The best lie is 90% truth. GARBO's success came from most information being true. Only 10% was strategic lies. Modern reflection. Today's disinformation campaigns, state-sponsored media, cyber propaganda use the same principle, mostly true information, with lies at critical moments. 2. Trust is the most valuable asset. It took 3 years to build trust in GARBO, but that trust bought 43 hours of Panzer delay on D-Day. Modern lesson. In intelligence services, long-term asset development is the highest priority, because a trusted source at a critical moment can change an operation. 3. The enemy's own tools are the best weapon. The double-cross system weaponized Germany's own spies. Hitler listened to enemy agents because he thought they were his people. Modern example. In cyber warfare, attackers use the enemy's own infrastructure, servers, networks as attack tools. Information from trusted sources is the most dangerous. On the night of June 5, 1944, Juan Pujol García typed a message at his typewriter. Objective: deceive Hitler. Result: 43-hour Panzer delay. 156,000 soldiers landed safely. D-Day succeeded. Operation Fortitude was a unique success in military history. To win a war, capture the enemy's entire intelligence network and use it against them. And at the center of the entire operation was an ordinary Spanish man with no military training, Juan Pujol García. Hitler gave him the Iron Cross, the British gave him the MBE. But the greatest reward, knowing he saved the lives of 5,586 soldiers who died on D-Day. Today, every intelligence service asks this question: which of our sources could be our GARBO? Because history has taught us, the agent you trust most could be the most dangerous. This story shows the power of deception. If seeing how one man's lie changed history's greatest war operation amazes you, subscribe. Because wars aren't won just with tanks and rifles. Sometimes they're won with a typewriter and a convincing lie. Tell us in the comments, are modern deception operations more sophisticated than the double-cross system, or are the principles the same?